right now, mental health care is so scarce. I can beg and not get it. I can go to my counselor now and then not get in for another 2 months. It makes me sad. How many people are trying to get the help they want and they just can't?
Hey there, my name is Sean, and this is Suicide Noted. On this podcast, I talk with suicide attempt survivors so that we can hear their stories. Every year around the world, millions of people try to take their own lives, and we almost never talk about it. We certainly don't talk about it enough, and when we do talk about it, many of us, most of us, we're not good at it. I mean, we're just really bad at listening. So one of my goals with this podcast is to have more conversations and hopefully better conversations with attempt survivors and ideators, in large part to help more people in more places, hopefully feel a little less shitty and a little less alone. Now, if you are an attempt survivor and you would like to talk, please reach out. I'd love to talk with you. I really would. hello@suicidenoted.com. You can check the show notes to learn all kinds of other things about this podcast, including our membership and our upcoming listeners meeting Sunday, July 13th at noon. There is a link in there. You can use it. Please do not share it on social media. We don't want people who don't want to be there or want to create problems to be there. A couple of other notes. We are more and more active on social media. All the big socials. You'll find us at either Suicide Noted or Suicide Noted Podcast. Please check it out when you can and do the things we do on social. The liking, the subscribing, the commenting, the sharing. I'm telling you, it really does help. And of course, there is entirely new content, new conversations that are not on this podcast you can find on our YouTube channel at Suicide Noted. So check that out. I think you'll really get a kick out of that and maybe one day join us. You should notice that today's episode was released either on a Thursday or Friday. I am going back to the way I did it the first few months. 2 episodes a week. Mondays will be Mondays, original conversations with attempt survivors or ideators. Thursdays are our update episodes, which I'm still exploring with in terms of format, but we've got a lot of them, so I got to get you up to date. And for each of those episodes in Spotify, there is a poll. There was one this past Monday on the afterlife. And this week's, which will be released shortly after the podcast is released, is about physician-assisted suicide. I'd love to hear what you think. Finally, we're talking about suicide on this podcast, as we do, as the name suggests. My guests and I don't hold back. That is quite intentional. So please take that into account before you listen or as you listen. But I do hope you listen because there is still so much to learn. Today, I am talking with Ash once again. Ash lives in California, and she is a suicide attempt survivor. Ash. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm shitty. You know what I was thinking about?
What's that?
With the understanding that I'm seeing it through having bad sleep and being an unhappy person in general, I had this sense of like, when we leave our homes, we almost have to present as okay. Most jobs are like that too. I'm not saying I have a reasonable or viable alternative, but that's problematic. Because when you're not well, this is nothing original, I know, but when you're not well, just the pressure of having to present and having to smile or even just be okay, I think that's so fucked up.
It is. It's like I'm in one of those jobs that I have to present as happy and okay all the time. I have to.
Or you'll lose your job probably. At some point, you will lose your job.
Yeah.
There are so many people, probably like not most people that talk with me, but a good number of people that they would hear that and be confused. What's the problem with that? I don't get it.
It's hard. It's exhausting.
We're going to update you.
Yep.
We're going to update the shit out of you. Ash in California, we spoke. Well, your episode was released just a bit more than a year ago. I listened to the blurb as I do in the beginning. Didn't listen to the whole episode. I think you were referring to like maybe when you first heard the podcast or as you started to listen, you were like, wow, there's other people.
Yes.
You're a paramedic?
Yes.
So you're around some people that are going through some hard things.
Oh, yeah.
You know it's out there. X number of people tried to end their lives last year. Like, you're aware of that.
Yeah.
But yet, this is fascinating to me. But I get it, I think. We know all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, hear people talking about it, and hopefully very openly, I think that makes a difference, obviously. Different.
It is. It really is different to
Hmm.
actually hear people openly talk about it and be okay with it. Well,
Yeah.
not okay, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to keep saying yeah. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Sean. I'm here with Ash in California. We're doing our update episode after about a year or a little more, and we're just going to say yeah. I'm going to say yeah. Ash is going to laugh. She's probably not a people pleaser, but I talk to a lot of fucking people pleasers. Are you a people pleaser?
I am.
What is behind that for you?
I think for me, it's the fear of letting someone down or not being perfect. I'm a perfectionist.
You are.
I am very much so.
It's when I hear that, Ash, I think this isn't about you. It's just when I hear it in general, this is going to sound a little judgy, I think. Oh, you're a perfectionist. You lose.
I do. I
Like
do. In the end, you do.
you can't no, only because you can't win.
Exactly.
Like, even if you did everything on your to-do list, every self-care thing, you can't be perfect.
My sane mind knows that,
Right.
but my like screwed up, messed up mind is like, no, you have to be perfect.
No, but isn't that the thing, though? It's like, okay, so we do the thing, but then when we start to have awareness about the thing and we have this other mind, we might call it a logical mind, that knows what you're doing, but the other thing just keeps doing it. And there's this, we can call it conflict or tension or some, I think that's where people go off the fucking deep end.
I would agree. Fully.
And then they start doing things that to other people, they just would be like, why would you do that? It's like, no, if you were in me, you would understand. What is your stuff that you do? And then we're going to actually talk a little bit about your life, particularly in the last year or so. Are there things that you do in your life in dealing with all that you deal with? Do you do things that others would look at it and be like, Ash, what is going on?
That's a big part of my OCD. My hands. I can't have both hands dirty at once.
Oh, okay.
That's a huge one.
Ash, I've never heard that.
Yes, I cannot have both hands dirty at once.
And if I asked you why, would you have an answer?
No,
Right.
I have no answer for that. I just cannot have both hands dirty. I have to have one hand clean at all times. So
Right.
to eat with both hands, I can't. One hand is down in my lap and I eat with one hand if I eat something messy. If I eat with a hand at all, sometimes I'll use a fork and a knife.
How many people know this?
A lot of people know this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You work today as a paramedic?
I'm off today.
You like your job?
I love it. Love it.
That is so cool to love your job. And that's a really cool job. I mean, you're doing good shit.
Yeah.
Can you give me, and obviously those who hear this, a little bit of an overview of what was going on in your life, which of course includes everything in your life?
I had 2 or 3 serious attempts. I had a whole bunch of what I call the half-ass attempts. Hospital stays, I had 3 or 4.
How old were you for your first attempt?
My first serious attempt, I was in my 30s.
How old are you?
I am 40. My whole 20s, 30s were rough. Serious attempt was in my 30s.
Aren't you from Wyoming?
Yes, I was born and raised in Wyoming, and then I moved to Wisconsin, and then moved here.
People that follow this podcast or that somewhat relatively new live stream, they might have heard your voice also because you have been involved in some other things that I'm doing. Before I ask about what's been going on in the past year or so since we talked, a few things I'm always curious about. Do you remember, if you ever listened to the episode when it came out?
It took me about a week to listen to it. I gave myself a week because, one, I hate the sound of my own voice, and two, I wasn't quite ready to hear it when it first came out.
All right, so you knew it was out and you saw probably Ash in California, but you just didn't hit play.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, okay. And so it's there and you're just figuring out what if and when you can hear it.
Yes.
Anybody else in your life know of or perhaps hear your episode?
They didn't hear it. I had a friend who knew about it. She was actually there when we recorded it. Nobody actually heard it.
Was there anything about our conversation? Was there anything negative about the experience for you?
No, nothing. I was actually glad I did it.
Yeah, but would you tell me or share that if you weren't?
If I was unhappy with something, I would have shared it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the best thing to hear from me. That's trust. Easy stuff is to hear that how great I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oh, it's so great. No, tell me that you didn't like the way I was. That's fucking, that I love. Now, if I hear it every day, all day, I'm probably doing the wrong thing. Admittedly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
We talked last spring. Has your life changed much since then?
It really has. I've gone through a lot of changes. I've moved. I had weight loss surgery. I was doing extremely well for a while. And then just recently, med changes and a therapist change, and everything has kind of got me back down. But other than that, some pretty huge changes that have happened within the last little over a year.
Up and down.
Yes.
Where are you now?
Right now, pretty down.
If you were up, do you think it would be less likely we'd be talking right now?
No, because when originally scheduled this, I was up. I was doing really well. I was feeling great. I was not ideating. I was doing great.
One thing, small thing, big thing?
I think a matter of moving and a matter of med changes, and I think a combination of things that have just happened recently just boom brought me down.
When you say down, like, are you able, you can work though?
Oh yeah, I can work. I can put on, as I've talked before and people have heard me say before, my mask, and I can fake it till I make it.
Fake it till you make it. The faking it is essentially the mask.
Yeah.
What's the making it?
I survive until I can get home and collapse.
Is that what happens?
Pretty much.
Paramedic's a tough gig.
It is.
You have a fascinating job because really what you do is you keep people alive.
Yes.
Did we ever come up with a memoir title for you?
I don't think we did.
Because as I say what I just said aloud, you would think there's got to be something, and it's ironic. Is it ironic? This idea of like, you literally save lives and you are, or have been at least, have been suicide.
Mhm. Yes.
Don't you think there's something there to work with for a memoir title?
Yeah.
And your fucking name is Ash. I'm thinking fire might be in there somewhere.
I was a firefighter for a while.
You were Ash was a firefighter.
Yes.
Now a paramedic.
Yeah.
Helps people feel less pain, less shitty, maybe less alone. Saves their lives. Probably not just you. You're on a team.
Yes.
On and off, can I say, for years was suicidal.
Yes.
And as we speak today, what?
Today, yes, ideating.
What does that look like for you? Because it is not the same for everybody. Ideating.
When I'm alone, I'm quiet. I'm withdrawn. I'm thinking of ways, oh my gosh, if I could do X, if I could take these pills by my bed, I would.
But why can't you? I'm not saying I want you to, but why?
Because there's that tiny little voice in my head saying no. So that's where it becomes into an ideation more than an
Right.
attempt.
What's the note? What's the voice though? What's behind the voice, do you think? Like, no, don't do it, or no, it might not work, or no, you have so much to live for, or no, maybe that you'll reconnect with that old friend next month.
It's a bunch of different things. It's no, we got to give this new therapist a chance.
Mm-hmm.
No, you have your nieces and nephew. No, it's going to be like last time. It won't work.
Do you remember what you said for the pink and purple pill question back then?
I believe it was save it.
What about today?
Save it.
I was thinking about making a green and yellow pill.
What's the green and yellow pill?
I'm not sure. I just want another pill.
Hey, the green and yellow pill could be making everything suddenly better.
Do you know me at all?
I know.
Wait, whoa. Okay, if we had this new green and yellow pill, which isn't real yet, and I'm not endorsing it yet, and if it is green and yellow and it is endorsed at some point, it may not be this thing, because it's Ash's idea. And Ash is awesome, but I'm not. But so you're saying if I gave you a pill and you took this pill and everything was okay?
I don't think I would.
Why not?
My darkness is part of who I am.
Well, we didn't say, though, that pill was necessarily getting rid of the darkness, or did we? Is that implied?
I think that's implied, maybe. Because, like, to me, my darkness is like my depression, my ideation, my PTSD, my OCD, all of that. And that's part of who I am, and that's part of who it's made me become.
Right. So then we would have to put a mechanism into the green and yellow pill. Or you didn't know that about yourself once you took it. Like, you were good and you didn't remember that a big part of your identity was those things. But now we're really getting into make-believe world.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like that. Right. I'm nixing that. I didn't ask you a very important question. Have you tried to end your life since we talked? Any hospital stays?
No.
Come close?
Come close, but no hospital stays, no attempts, but there's been very close.
You said you're late 30s?
I'm 40.
40. Woo! That's
I know, I'm getting up there.
you. How about that? Um, and it's never going to change, by the way. Just know that. Always going to be like, I cannot believe my age.
Yeah.
Also, anyone who's listening, who as you get older, you so much like you love getting older, and I admire that and I respect that, and I kind of wish I were you, but also fuck you too.
Yes. Yeah.
So keep listening though, but keep listening, subscribe, like me, like the thing on the social place.
I hate aging.
I actually think you're supposed to hate aging.
I think you're right.
You're literally dying. It's great. I'm getting older. My body is in pain, and but I'm wiser. Let me tell you something right now. I'm not.
I am in some ways, but is it worth it?
Yeah. Right. You deal with suicides on your with your work?
Yes.
How often?
Not as often as you would think. Maybe 4 or 5 times a year.
Are you the first person that would be called in such a situation?
Either us or police, but yeah,
Is it weird?
it can be.
Yeah.
It depends on my state of mind at that point. But it can be weird. It can be awkward.
Can it be triggering?
Yes. If I'm in my state of mind that I am now, and we had one and it went horribly bad, or, I saw something, then yeah, it could.
Most people would think, I don't know this for sure. I saw a suicide. Oh my God, I'm so grateful for life.
Yes.
It's not always the case. It's not always true.
No.
Right. So you deal with suicides at work. I never talk about this, but do you have people in your life who come to you to talk about suicidal thoughts?
Yes.
Do you think being suicidal yourself helps you engage with them in a way that makes them feel better?
Yes.
Do you ever see almost like a mirror? And it's like, whoa.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do, and it'll make me stand back for a minute and be like, whoa. But it also makes me sit and think again, wow, I've got this person that's come to me.
Yeah.
One, again, I'm not alone. And two, wow, they really trust me.
Yeah. And every time I ask, and this is true almost always, but if I were to ask you, well, what are you doing in that conversation, let's say, so that they feel comfortable, supported, safe, insert whatever word, it's almost always the same thing. And it's really rather simple. Like, are you doing anything that no one's ever heard of?
No, I'm just listening.
Yeah. So then it makes me think that people either don't understand what listening is, or that kind of listening, right? Or they do, but for one reason or another, they just can't apply that they just can't apply it.
Or they freak out. They hear the suicide word.
Yeah.
And they freak out. Oh my God, you're gonna do what?
Why do you think they freak out? I mean, this is so speculative.
I think it's such a taboo and it's heard of, but it's not talked about.
Well, taboos are taboos for a reason, though, right?
Yeah.
I actually don't understand it. I don't think I ever have.
Yeah.
What is the issue with talking about something?
Why not bring more light to it? Why not try to understand it?
Well, let me push back. Ready? There's a group of people that want to bring light to and talk about harming animals. They like to hurt animals. Do we want to hear it?
We don't want to hear it, but is it something we probably should hear?
Yeah.
No. But is it something that's part of life? Yes.
Yeah, like what do we make room for?
Yeah.
I think by and large, we just don't make room for things that we don't like, right? Like you're an evil piece of shit for harming that dog. I don't want you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you're just, that's it, done. But I think the same thing or similar thing gets applied to this stuff.
Yeah.
You're a bad person.
Yep.
Or insert other weak, bad, selfish.
Yeah. Yes. That's a big one.
You said that you have people that come to you to talk, at least one, maybe.
Yes.
One or more than one?
I've had a few.
Yeah. How many people do you have?
One.
One's not none. It's fucking crazy, man. There's like 8 billion people in the world. And even in like your town, there's probably like 25,000 people.
8,000, I think.
8,000 person town you live in.
Yeah, it's an agricultural area for sure. We grow almonds.
Oh, sweet. A lot of people drink almond milk there.
Yep.
A lot of almond milk. How do you even say almond?
Almond.
It's a strange word. Like You know, like say 10 times and you're like, that shouldn't even be a word.
Right.
I have one really big question I want to ask you. What's your biggest regret in your life?
Boy,
I'm bringing this shit today, Ash.
you are. My biggest regret in life is not being myself, not being my genuine self.
That means you would recognize your genuine self if your genuine self appeared. You understand what that means? Genuine self.
Yeah, not hiding behind the mask.
Are you hiding behind the mask now?
I am.
I thought my gift was unmasking. I'm not very good at this.
To some extent, the mask is always there unless I'm alone.
What would be one thing that if I were the proverbial fly on the wall, what would I see or hear or when you were alone? That real genuine.
I struggle a lot more than people realize.
Yeah.
There's the self injury, there's the ideation, there's a lot of dark times.
Are you a cutter?
Yes.
The darkness.
Yeah.
It's and not that you would want to, but it must be so hard to articulate, even if you wanted to put it into words.
Yeah.
Because I could ask you all day about like, well, were you suicidal? Were you ideating? What was the method? What was the, well, I could do that forever, but it doesn't necessarily take me into that so much.
Yeah.
What's it like to be feeling that kind of, however you're defining darkness? I'm not necessarily asking you. I'm just wondering for anybody.
And that's why I love like photography so much is when I capture the right moment, the right emotion.
Hmm.
You feel it.
How often do you take pictures?
I haven't as much within the last year as I usually do, but I love to get out with my camera and just go out and shoot cityscapes, landscapes. I love to get out and shoot when I can.
What are you most afraid of? I feel like I'm fucking Oprah Winfrey today.
You are.
I'm going with like some of these big questions.
My biggest fear is abandonment. Abandonment from my friends, from my family.
What's the thing that makes you saddest? And I realize if I asked you that question tomorrow, it might be a different answer, right? That's just how humans are. It's not so this is the one thing, but as we talk now.
The fact right now that mental health care is so scarce. You know, I can beg for mental health care and not get it. I can go to my counselor now and see her and then not get in for another 2 months.
And I would imagine in being I could be wrong here, but as a paramedic, you kind of know the resources that are available and
Yeah.
you have an idea, right? So this, the waiting.
Yes.
How many people die waiting?
Exactly. How many people do die waiting?
Not on your fucking watch,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
I want you to be my paramedic, Ash. But is that sad or angry?
It makes me sad. How many people are trying to get the help they want and they just can't?
People pleasers. Do they get angry? Do we see their anger?
Yes,
You do?
certain times.
Good.
Like I will get angry, but you better watch out.
Yeah. Is there anything that gives you hope?
My nieces and nephew.
No. Are they nearby?
No, they're in Wyoming
How do nieces and nephews give you hope?
because I love them like they were my own kids. It's weird. It is so weird, but they are like my own kids. I love them as such, and they give me that little ray of hope. Maybe things can get a little bit better.
And you listen to the podcast though?
Yes, I do.
I've asked this question to some people, but not a lot. And it is only being asked to women.
Okay.
Well, not only. I mean, I should take that back. I think I've only asked it to women. I'm trying to make a comparison. Perhaps that's not the right word, but I don't have another word with abortion and suicide. And I'm going to try to leave all politics aside.
Hmm.
How do I frame this? I've yet to figure out the words, so you'll see. It's like, and it may help you to know that I see both sides of the abortion argument and
Hmm.
that and to lean towards choice. But more importantly, I don't say anything because I'm a dude.
Yeah.
So just so you have some context, someone can get pregnant. That will most of the time become a human.
Yes.
Inarguable. You can't argue against it. A lot of the world allows to end that life, whether you call it a life or a future life. And if you tell people, do it, so it's safe, because they're going to do it anyway and it's not going to be safe and they might get harmed. So you see what I'm trying to make this, what's the difference? And there are differences. I'm trying to tease it out. Like, what's the difference in letting someone, I'm going to use strong language with you. I'm not trying to be a dick.
Yep.
You can handle it. Yeah.
Yep.
We let people end life, but not their own life.
Yes.
And I don't get it.
I don't either.
Oh, okay. That took forever for me to spit out.
I don't understand why, like, physician-assisted suicide isn't allowed when abortion laws allow them to do that.
Can I ask, what are your thoughts on abortion?
I stand in the middle. I believe it should be allowed in certain situations.
Let's just, for cultural reasons, stick to like North America. The majority, probably, of adults lean towards a woman should get to choose.
Yeah.
But there's conditions. There's always going to be conditions, right?
Yeah.
And I would say the great majority of adults in North America would not say physician-assisted suicide. That's not okay.
Exactly.
I mean, one could even make an argument that taking your own life is just your life.
Yeah, you're choosing for yourself and not making a decision for somebody else.
That'd be a cool podcast, just that question.
That would be.
Just talk to different people about like abortion, suicide, just that. What else would you like to share about your life since we talked?
I really think that's about it. I think we've covered everything that's updated, really.
How many people do you think have only lived in Wyoming, Wisconsin, and California?
Oh, boy.
Like, there's probably not a huge number.
No.
They've only lived in 3 states, and it's those 3 states. It's probably under 100 people.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it's under 50.
And they're suicidal. Very few.
Yeah.
You might be the only person in the world who has lived in Wyoming, Wisconsin, California.
Yeah.
Try to take her life.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't have a memoir title, but I do have a singer in mind for you, which makes no sense.
Okay.
There's a singer whose style and lyrics remind me of you in some way that I can't put my finger on. Adele.
I like Adele.
It's just there's something about her voice, and it's also something about fire and ash. Fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying that like they should blast Adele at your funeral.
Or maybe they should.
Or maybe they should. All right, cool. Thanks for talking.
Yeah.
You gonna go run some errands?
I am. I'm going to go run some errands and then try to get a hold of one of my friends and maybe hang out with her today.
I hope that goes well. Thanks for the update. Thanks for talking.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
All right, Ash, thanks. Have a good day, I hope.
You too.
Yep. As always, thanks so much for listening and all of your support. Special thanks to Ash in California once again for talking with me. Thank you, Ash. If you are a suicide attempt survivor or ideator and you would like to talk, I would love to talk with you. Please reach out, hello@suicidenoted.com. You can check our website or the podcast description to learn all kinds of other things about the Suicide Noted podcast, including our membership. Check it out. A lot of stuff is going on. We would love your support, your participation. But hey, if the only thing you do is listen, that is more than enough. I really appreciate it. And that is all for episode number 273. Stay strong. Do the best you can. I'll talk to you soon.